Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Sam from Armada Trading here, and today we will look at Castor Maritime once again because there has been some big news that's just come out about Castor Maritime and their recent business operations within the company. Now, as you all know, Castor Maritime did just get 2 new vessels, and due to these recent acquisitions, they've been able to employ and take on new contracts to be able to keep making all this revenue and to keep increasing their portfolio, keep increasing their income sources within the company. Now, with that being said, we're going to dive straight into this, but before we do that, if you all can hit that like button and subscribe for new, it really helps the channel out, and I can't thank you enough for the recent support on this channel. It's been absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you enough for giving us this voice on this platform. With that being said, let's move on. Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say that I'm in no way, shape or form a financial advisor, and please take anything I say with a pinch of salt. I'm simply a university student studying business and management, and that is all. Stocks are battlefields. Be sure to do your own research, your own due diligence before entering into the battlefield. I can only scout the battlefield for you. However, I cannot fight the battle for you. With that being said, let's move on. Castor Maritime for me has always been one of those stocks which I've had my eye on since their first acquisition in January of these vessels. They keep acquiring new vessels, they keep adding to their assets, they keep increasing their portfolio as a company. And they've recently acquired on the 10th and 12th of March 2 new vessels, which I covered previously. However, today they are putting those vessels to good use because Castor Maritime has announced the delivery of the Magic Orion and Magic Argo. And we're going to dive into this document that they have provided, and we will look at the SEC files very shortly. So, Castor Maritime Incorporated, a diversified global shipping company, announces that on March 17, 2021, it took delivery of the MV Magic Orion, a 2006 Japanese-built capsized dry bulk carrier. And on March the 18th, 2021, it took delivery of the MV Magic Argo, a 2009 Japanese-built Kamsurak dry bulk carrier, pursuant to the transactions previously announced on January the 20th and February 2021, respectively. Both acquisitions were financed in their entirety with cash on hand. So they had the cash available. They didn't have to take any debt. They didn't have to take out any loans to be able to purchase these vessels. They had cash to hand. They were able to literally give cash. So they own these dry bulk carriers completely. So the MV Magic Orion is expected to commence deployment under a time charter contract on or around March the 20th, 2021. So they have already put these vessels into use at a daily gross charter rate of $21,000 and an expected term of about 35 days, which is amazing. So they are getting paid $21,000 under a 35-day contract. Now, this is a daily gross charter rate of $21,000. Now, if we quickly look up the definition of a gross charter day rate, right? It was day rate. So this is a shipping sort of term. You don't hear this very often within business. So gross terms, gross charter. If in addition to the full operating costs of the ship, all other expenses, tally charters, etc., or are for owner's account, the charter is a gross charter or fixture on gross terms. Voyager charters come under this category. In time charters, the charter pays all the loading costs, the expression net charter. So pretty much in terms of simplicity, right? A day charter is what their budget is. So they have been given a daily gross charter rate of $21,000. That is their budget for this specific thing. And I'm assuming that this would be paid on a daily basis because you have to remember they have to pay their staff that are on board the ship. There's a lot of factors you have to take into account when transporting cargo. So the expected term of about 35 days. So they're going to be getting paid $21,000 for every day for 35 days for this specific contract that they have signed for this dry bulk cargo shipping. The MV Magic Argo is expected to commence employment under a time charter contract on or around March 21st, 2021 at a daily gross charter rate of $25,000 and an expected term of about 4 months. So both of these ships again put to use immediately, which is an amazing sign that Castor Maritime has got the business behind it. They have got the demand for their shipping services. So this is an amazing stock right now to invest in, because they keep expanding and they have enough demand to basically keep increasing their supply of these ships, and it's going to consequently increase their assets, increase their business portfolio, and it's going to keep making their company bigger. And it's just good news all round for Castor Maritime at the moment. And honestly, if they keep this up, they are going to be a very strong company, and I think they're going to be able to stay on the NASDAQ like very easily, especially if they keep making moves like this. All I'm going to say is their CEO right now, if he does a share buyback, he is going to be the GOAT in the stock world. That's what I'm saying, because he has completely flipped Castor Maritime around. Like, he has literally flipped it on the head, and he has been able to really excel this company. Now, if they do a share buyback, which would be amazing news for us, because they will mean that our share prices will go up. Like, we're looking good. We would be looking very good. And honestly, Castor Maritime, it could be worth a lot in the not so distant future. I'm not going to lie, especially if they keep pulling stuff like this. Like, this is absolutely amazing. And honestly, like, Castor Maritime right now is looking like an amazing buy. So just so you're all aware, this right here is the SEC file to basically verify everything that I said previously. I know it was straight from their website. However, this is the SEC file to basically verify everything which I said previously. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Castor Maritime right now is in an amazing position, and I am going to quickly do a graphical analysis and where I think this could go in the not so distant future. Well, I tell you what, I was not expecting to find this out. Now, Castor Maritime's short volume ratio is currently 41%. Oh my day, that is so high. Like, I consider 20% to be a high short volume ratio. This is 41%. Like, that's insane. And right now as well, there's short shares available. So they have 10 million short shares available. But the borrow fee rate is very high. 8.41% is higher than normal borrow fee rates, which I've seen previously. So Castor Maritime, I'm not sure if it's squeeze susceptible. Well, it definitely could be squeeze susceptible at 41%, but it's all going to depend on, like, what's the shorters, like, what are they doing with, like, within the company? Like, how are they going to use these short shares? Are they going to utilize it? Are they going to, like, how are they going to tell us to basically give them back their shares? That's what I was trying to say. Like, how are they going to make us basically give back their shares? Now, in my opinion, CTRM could potentially have a short squeeze. Do I think it's going to happen soon? Maybe not, but they're going to have a share buyback at some point, because when you short a stock, they don't own these shares. They have sold these shares, like, sort of, so they have created shares in a company that don't exist, and the end user has to buy back these shares at some point. The person who shorted it will have to basically cover these shares at some point. So could this potentially make Castor Maritime have an increase? Yes, because right now, Castor Maritime is currently listed at 0.94. Now, if I'm using my head here, I think the reason why they're shorting this stock is maybe because they don't want it to get, or they want it to get delisted from the NASDAQ. That is a potential reason why we see the short volume so high. Now, I think that Castor Maritime itself, I think it's going to go up in value, especially if they can get above this $1 mark and they can keep listed on the NASDAQ. Then it's going to basically encourage the shorters to buy back these shares that they created within the company that don't actually exist. So with that being said, we are going to now move on to the graphical analysis, but I thought this is definitely something that needs to be addressed and needs to be covered because it is a very fundamental factor of why Castor Maritime as well could be a potential good buy. Now, interestingly enough, within CTRM, we are actually currently seeing a fairly bullish flag right now. Now, the reason why I say it's bullish is because there is a lot of volume coming to this stock. However, the price action isn't actually representing the price at the moment, which is quite strange because, as you saw here, when they announced about this whole shipping thing, and this was on the 18th, and I think they announced on the 19th, but it's probably rumored on the 18th, and as you can see, there was a massive load of volume that was pumped into this stock. And if I get the volume index up, you could just about see, like, there was a lot of volume that came in here. Now, you can see a fair bit of buying and then a bit of selling, a bit of buying and a bit of selling, which is how the market works, obviously. Like, there's always going to be buys, there's always going to be sells. However, you can sort of see how this right here is actually influencing the price. But we did see a dip here. And to me, this dip does not seem like normal. This could be potentially the NASDAQ bleeding slightly. But to me, the volume suggests that this should have stayed level, potentially even rise up, because we are seeing more buying action than we were selling action. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, anything that's red is a sell-off. Anything that's green is a buy. And this is all due to, well, it's all due to like the price action within it. So this is what happens like within the stock markets. You have people that buy, you have people that sell, and when you see red, more people are selling than buying. If you see green, more people are buying than selling. Supply, demand, all of that. So what we are seeing here, basically, we are seeing Castor Maritime basically consolidating right now. It's at a very level point. However, I'm very interested to see what happens when we reach the end of this flag which I have created, because to me this flag right here is actually quite a good indicator of where I can see the stock going, because as you see, we are currently in the middle of this flag right now and we're almost reaching the end point. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether this rises up at this time here, because as we all know, triangles are a very good indicator of where a stock could go in the future. And for anyone who doesn't like really understand, I put it at a spike at the 1.34 mark, because as you see, it pretty much hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points of resistance. And at the bottom we have, well, we've almost got like 3 or 4 like sort of, it's close to 3 to 4 like touch points. Like there's about 3 there, almost 1 there. So, you know, this is quite a good level. Like this is a good flag which I've drawn here, which could be a good indicator as to where the stock may see a big increase or it could see a slight decline. Now, at the moment, because it's in a bullish format, I can see CTRM actually pushing out of this and potentially reaching maybe $1.10, which would be amazing. Like $1.10, like, and for it to maybe consolidate at that $1.10 and create a new trading level at that mark and be able to get listed on the NASDAQ, like become NASDAQ competent, it could really help the company. Because as we saw previously, right, it almost made it here. It almost managed to be able to trade above $1. Well, how many days did it manage to trade? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it dipped. So I am unsure whether it actually became NASDAQ worthy, but we saw on the 10th day, very funnily enough, we see this dip. Now, this could have been because the shorters didn't want it to become NASDAQ competent, and they may have artificially tried to keep it below, because as you know, you have to be trading above the $1 mark for 10 consecutive days to become NASDAQ worthy in a sense. And this is over a 180-day period. So with that being said, that is my stock analysis of CTRM. And, you know, I don't know, like, I'm a student. I'm a business and management student. Always take that into account. What I say is the be-all and end-all. I can only present my opinions on this platform. However, it's your job to do your own research, your own due diligence before entering into this stock. Because although, you know, I'm good at sort of indicating like where a graph could go. I'm good at graph reading. I am not an expert. I am not a financial advisor. So always do your own research and only put in money which you can afford to lose. With that being said, thank you for watching. This B-Boy Sam from Mile Train. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. And that's going to do it for today. And I'll see you in the next video on the channel. Take care, everyone.